What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey, still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seatbelt.
So while Mortal Kombat fans continue to ride the high of the latest movie, Mortal Kombat 2, which was a great movie, I actually did a review of it that nobody watched. But anyway, this video concerns Mortal Kombat and video games and Switch 2 and other systems, so maybe this video will actually get some views. But anyway, Mortal Kombat 2 has come out recently, and Mortal Kombat fever is high again. And it looks like Atari could be looking to capitalize on this by releasing Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection Volume 2. Now, Atari recently acquired an emulation studio called Implicit Conversions. They just acquired this studio less than a month ago. And already they are hiring for a new project using this studio. So it says Atari is hiring for an emulation engineer. It said through Implicit Conversions, we're looking for a creative and skilled emulation engineer to join our team and help bring classics to life on modern hardware. In this role, you'll design, build, and refine emulators that make older titles run smoothly and accurately on today's platforms. So, interestingly, at the bottom, under bonus points, it says experience with game emulation or cross-platform ports, experience creating patches or changes to classic games, ability to identify issues in classic game mode without source code, and understanding of modern GPU rendering pipelines. And super bonus is PlayStation 2 emulation experience. So, the main reason why Atari said that they bought this company is because they have a pipeline. They have a special engine called the Syrup engine that works distinctly with 32-bit era games. So they're able to emulate PlayStation and presumably GameCube and the original Xbox games. I believe that this is the same studio that helped bring a lot of those PlayStation 2 games to the PlayStation Plus catalog for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, I believe. Could be wrong about that, but I believe that's the same studio. And so pretty much Atari hired them specifically for their technology and knowledge of PlayStation 2 era or 32-bit era emulation. So you're probably asking yourself, well, what the heck does this have to do with Mortal Kombat? And why do you think that this means that we're getting Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection? Well, like I said, they literally just bought them. Atari just bought this company less than a month ago. And then right away, right after being bought, the people at Digital Eclipse who made the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection for Atari was immediately tweeting at each other about this. So Stephen Frost, who pretty much runs Digital Eclipse, says, since I first met Implicit Conversions, I knew that they were great and shared a lot of the same goals and passions as Digital Eclipse. Given that, I'm happy that they are now part of the Atari family and that we'll get to work together on lots more projects. And then they said, we love Digital Eclipse and we're looking forward to all the fun we're going to have together. Then, a few days later, they just happened to retweet Digital Eclipse announcing that there is going to be the new update which adds crossplay to Mortal Kombat Legacy on the platforms it's on. Just happened to tweet that. Now, they have been acquired from Atari or by Atari only a few days before this announcement. So that means they didn't help work on Mortal Kombat Legacy. They didn't help with they didn't help with any of that. They just happened to be tweeting that. Now, there is a chance that they could be just tweeting it just because they're all emulation teams, all now under the Atari, all under the Atari banner, under the Atari family, and that, you know, that happens from time to time. Companies that are all owned by the same company, they'll retweet each other's announcements and even job postings and stuff like that. But where this gets really interesting is that the PlayStation 2 era of Mortal Kombat was one of the main things people said was missing or complaining that was not in the Legacy Collection, the first Legacy Collection. And a rep for Digital Eclipse said last year that since the Nintendo Switch was the baseline console for Mortal Kombat Legacy, that PlayStation 2 era Mortal Kombats were out of the question, meaning that they probably could not get, since it takes a system, has to be way more powerful than the system that it's emulating for it to be pretty much 100% perfect emulation. Like, I'm talking like 20, 30 times or something. Like, it's something crazy like that. So because of that, and because of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection also coming out for the original Nintendo Switch, they said that made PS2 era Mortal Kombat games on this collection impossible. Meaning that if this collection I'm talking about does come out, it more than likely will not hit the Switch and will be for just, you know, current gen systems or Switch 2 and up. Now, because these companies are both scratching each other's back and retweeting each other after being acquired for a few days, and they just happen to be experts in PlayStation 2 emulation, and Atari just happens to already be hiring for an emulation project even though they haven't even owned them for a month, that tells me that Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection 2, featuring Mortal Kombat PS2 era games, is more than likely now in development. So that means you will have a collection that has Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, or I'm sorry, a version that we actually care about, the PS2 version, GameCube version, Xbox, that version. Also, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, which for a lot of people, that's their favorite PS2 era Mortal Kombat game. And then we got Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which is nobody's favorite Mortal Kombat game, but it did have a really cool creative fighter thing. I remember creating a bunch of characters in that game. That part of the game was fun, but the creative fatality, not so much. But that also means that finally, we may in fact get an up-to-date, current-gen, available version of Mortal Kombat The Shaolin Monks. And that would make me very happy. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Would you buy Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection 2 on the Switch 2 or on PS5 or whatever, if it were to come out and had those PS2 era Mortal Kombats? Because looking at the evidence here, it looks like that's exactly what's going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section.